8 to 10 a.m. and you're listening to Salam.
Right, so let's get the facts here. South Africa, or Johannesburg, the city of Joburg, has a mayor, Thapelo Amad. I think he's been around for less than 2 months, or just about thereabouts. But there's been a call from more than one party or section of the city of Joburg community to say, no, man, this guy needs to walk. He's just not good enough. So specifically, the Action SA, they've tabled a motion of no confidence against him. They've also done it against the speaker, but the focus really is on Thapelo Amad being the mayor, right? So my guest today is the leader of Action SA, that's Herman Mashaba. In fact, Herman, if I spoke to you a couple of years back, I would say Mayor Herman Mashaba. So it's rather different saying, welcome to the show, Herman.
Yes, good morning, Ashraf. What a surprise. And please, before we start our discussion, allow me to really extend my deepest gratitude to the Muslim community during this period of Ramadan. I hope they live in good spirit and have peace, because it is very important. What, about a week or so to go? Let's hope they're going to survive it and come out stronger, because we need them to really be part of this beautiful country of ours.
And I think maybe that's the number, because what you want is to have the strength, the resilience, the determination of the lessons learned from Ramadan to be able to impact the country, to be the best South Africa we can be, and the best for the citizens, which I think, then leaves me on to where we are now. So your party has tabled a motion of no confidence against Thapelo Amad. So why?
I think, Ashraf, if you look at the performance of this mayor, I mean, it's, from literally day one. I think on the day he was elected as a mayor by the ANC EFF coalition of looters. He was asked what his priority was, and he said it was potholes. And we said to myself, my goodness, what the hell is going on? And you can really look at it over the last just under 2 months or 2 months he's been in office. His focus was to really take instructions from the ANC and EFF. He's not an independent person. But the final blow for us as Action SA came over the weekend with the interview he did with SABC. Talking about having discussion on a 9.5 billion rands loan. That's when we realized, no, this is going rather too far. What kind of mayors is to being a mayor in a municipality, we have legislative framework under which we operate. This is not, we're not running a shebeen. We're running a proper organization with a legislative framework in place. And we felt as Action SA, we can't really sit back and say we can't do anything. So we decided, spoke to my team on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, prepared a motion which we submitted. And we not obviously only after the mayor, we after the speaker who lied to council last time, where he submitted leave of absence claiming ill health, but went to Tshwane to go and deal with COPE matters, because as you are aware what's happening with COPE. You can't have such people as public representatives that they openly lie to society. The city of Joburg has got its own challenges. We don't have time for one party the representatives thinking that they can run their own parties and at the same time run a responsibility of being speaker.
Let's just rewind a bit here. I mean, I think your point about Thapelo Amad when he was elected mayor in a rather strange coalition that we have in the city of Joburg. Yes, I certainly heard those opening comments about his big vision about potholes, right? And I did find it less than convincing, absolutely. But I also say that I think he's not the only public person serving higher office who's not convincing. I think there's a series of cabinet ministers who are unconvincing. There are other mayors who are unconvincing. Some may be critical of your role, but we're not going to discuss that now. Meaning there are many people in public office that come up as very, very unconvincing. But going back to the 9.5 billion rand loan, what for you about what he said so sparked you and your party into action? What did he say that is wrong?
Look, the municipality run on the basis of various the laws of the country, be the Municipal Systems Act, the Structures Act, and PMFA, and other laws. The mayor does not have the authority to go and negotiate deals with anyone. I mean, the mayor must stay away from such negotiations. The mayor's responsibility is to give political direction to the executive, starting with the city manager downwards. It's not the mayor's responsibility to negotiate such discussions. And he might claim that you are still having discussions, but when, as a mayor, you sign under oath and not to share certain public matters without really having the foundation. If ever he had meetings with whatever at some place, yeah, that's fine, but it's not something that you can share in public before even giving it to the city manager, not even bringing
so
it to
what you say, it's not so much about the 9.5 billion rands. It's not so much about the low interest rate. I mean, we can debate all of that, but fundamentally, you say it's not his job to sign off on this thing, right?
Absolutely.
And it's somebody else's job. Yeah,
it's not up to him to negotiate such transactions.
So who's it up to then?
It's a city manager. That's
Okay.
It's in the law. The city manager, the political office bearers from all the politicians cannot negotiate transactions. Their role is to give the mandate to the city manager and the administration, and they bring it to you in a mayoral committee or whatever. You either reject or accept it, but it's not up to you to go and negotiate deals.
Okay. And having negotiated, and let's say, it could have been a negotiation over a cup of coffee. I mean, we have those chats, right? And let's say he was even with the city manager as well. Let's say they were together. I'm making the assumption, right? You're saying even if that's the case, I mean, it was clear from the conversation with Sakina Kamwena, nothing was signed off because he suggested that there was some communication around it. You're saying since nothing was signed off, he couldn't actually even speak about that publicly, and he did so.
Absolutely, you cannot, because what you are now saying to the public, because you are giving an impression about things that are not really real. I think this man needs to realize the role of the executive mayor. If ever he was in the city with the city manager, they attended a meeting, there was this proposal being put forward. He's got the responsibility to keep confidentiality until such time that the thing is properly agreed by the mayoral committee, and then from there, then it must go to council for council approval. That's the only time the mayor can really make public pronouncement. He can't really make a public pronouncement on any issue until such time that it is approved by council.
Okay, let's then look into the nuts and bolts of what happens next. You've passed you've tabled the motion of no confidence, right? We know that the very Thapelo Amad's in the mayor because a part of the city coalitions that includes the ANC and the EFF and the Patriotic Alliance has a majority that's put him into place, right? To be able to pass this motion of no confidence, you need to get that 50+1 majority. I would think that if you're going to table, you must be pretty confident, or you would want to be confident that you actually can win that vote and get him out.
Well, I would like to be confident of getting the majority. I cannot really see some of the parties, and I'm aware, and I'm sure all of you, it's an open secret that most of the other parties are not happy with this ANC-EFF relationship because it's too domineering, it is corrupt. And the other parties are not really happy. So that's why I'm confident that we will get the support of other parties, including obviously the DA, the Freedom Front Plus, the ACDP, IFP, including some of the parties that are currently working with the ANC.
I think the key one, I think the ANC has already said that they would support him, and I think the EFF has said something very similar. The ANC very, very public about it. I think the key one, and who actually is the kingmaker in this, would be the Patriotic Alliance, right? I mean, I would think that's the people you'd need to be meeting very, very quickly if you haven't already met with it.
Well, absolutely. We've got no choice in this regard. Ashraf, we're not doing this because we're playing games. It's our city, the city of Johannesburg. It's an economic hub of this country. If Johannesburg fails, South Africa is going to fail. It is for that reason I actually had to really go to council myself to go and hand over this memorandum. I wanted to send a very strong message to South Africans that we cannot have an ANC EFF coalition anywhere in our country if we've got the numbers. And I wanted to demonstrate, take the leadership to say to South Africans, let's do everything possible to remove this coalition of looters. So yes, we are going to negotiate with the Patriotic Alliance and other smaller parties, the DA, the Freedom Front Plus, and others. Yes, absolutely, we are not going to have any discussions with the ANC and the EFF. Those ones, without any doubt.
Let's say you negotiate. So Herman, let's say you negotiate, and let's say, and I'm just staying with the Patriotic Alliance specifically because Gayton McKenzie has been very public about saying we got the wrong man, right? We supported the wrong man. He's been very public about it. So let's say his votes move over to the other side again because he was part of the one coalition. Then he moved out of it. Let's say he comes back, right? The next step then would mean not so much Thapelo Amad stepping down because that would be a given. The next step then is what happens next in terms of who takes over as the mayor of the city of Joburg.
Well, in the event that our motion is successful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the event of our motion being successful, we are going to start the discussion with immediate effect with all the other parties to really decide the structure of the new arrangement. Because as you are aware, in our case at the moment, we're not in coalition with anyone because obviously our coalition with the other parties collapsed once we were voted out of power. So right now we've got to renegotiate a new arrangement altogether. And for us as Section SA, it is not about positions, whether we get a mayor or we don't, it doesn't matter. As long as we put together a competent team of the mayor and the team that is going to deliver, which they must understand we are going to hold them accountable. So we will start these negotiations with them in coming days leading up to the 25th of April when council is going to be hearing this motion.
All right. So, you've served as the mayor of the city of Joburg under a DA ticket. You've not served, if I stand corrected, under Action SA. But assuming this coalition comes together, removes Thapelo Amad and says, okay, we need a new mayor. And the approach is, let's get a mayor who knows what he knows his job. Let's get Herman Mashaba in as the mayor of the city of Joburg. What would you say?
Well, I think Herman Mashaba has got a bigger project in 2024 to officially and democratically unseat the ANC. So, I mean, that matter of Herman Mashaba coming back as a mayor is out of the question. Action SA, I can proudly tell South Africans, we've got highly competent young people who can really play that role. Obviously, with my support, I've got the experience of running that city for the last 3 years. So I will still really be available to really give a guidance where it is necessary. But I'm confident that honestly, we're not short of having competent people who can really run that city.
Okay,
but it does not necessarily be Action SA.
You've ruled yourself out.
To accommodate other parties to take over this responsibility.
Okay, but that brings me to the other question. Now, look at both sides. On the one hand, you got a DA majority led coalition, right? No absolute majority, otherwise they would have their own person. So on the one hand, it's the DA, Action SA, and all the other parties you mentioned part of it. On the other hand, it's ANC, EFF, and Patriotic Alliance, and Al Jamaa, and many others, right? One of the problems for me about the Thapelo Amad election to the mayor was not whether he was competent or not. It was like the most bizarre thing in the world that a party with two candidates elected, one under proportional representation, so three, can actually be the mayor of my city, right? And we've seen the same thing happening now with the city of Tshwane as well. That short-lived Cope story with one vote. I mean, for me, that alone, and I've tweeted about it, that alone ensures that we as the citizens of the city of Joburg are the real puppets. We are the ones who are being taken for granted, while the political parties fight out their own political shenanigans and they put their parties first ahead of what's right for the city.
I mean, look at Ashraf, the speaker. I mean, honestly, if you look at the behavior of the speaker with Cope, where they don't even know at the national level, they don't know who the leader is. And is someone who are always referred to as someone acting like a child in a candy shop. Have you seen, if you put it going in a candy shop with a child, how excited they get? And that's really how she operates, representing a party that does not even know who their leader is. And this is the person who must run as a speaker.
But I mean, but that's the point. But that's the point that I want to put to you, Herman. Not just yourself, but all the political parties, right? That I think, and I'll say it again, while the political parties play their games and try and push what's right for their party, not what's right for the country, we as the citizens of Johannesburg are the first casualties of service delivery. So we are being shortchanged as people who live in the city, while the nature of their agreements and relationships ensures that people with 2 seats and 3 seats, and maybe even if it's action, it can be 5 or 10 seats. It's still minority seats can actually get to the highest positions of a city, and somehow that's fundamentally wrong, don't you think?
Yeah, but you know what? If you look at that kind of arrangement, it can only happen from the ANC and EFF, and you can see their decision is not really based on service delivery. It's not really based on public service. It's based on buying the councillors. They've actually rendered our democracy for sale. They think their pala dollars can really buy councillors, and those kind of arrangements you find them only with ANC, EFF. With us, I can tell you with Action SA, there's no way that you can expect us to really put someone with one councillor to give them such a huge position as a mayor. Yes, we must accommodate them, give them positions without any doubt. For me, it's not negotiable. All the parties that are supporting us must be looked after so that they are not attracted by pala dollars. So we've got
so for example, so if Gayton Mackenzie's Patriotic Alliance swings with the coalition with the DA as well as Action SA and the others, and he says, I'll bring my 8 seats to you to ensure we get Thapelo Amad out. I made a mistake, and then let's elect a new mayor, and the majority does not want a DA candidate. They don't want an Action SA candidate, and if the compromise candidate is the 8-seat Patriotic Alliance and Gayton Mackenzie or whoever he appoints takes up the position as the mayor, would you be okay with that?
I personally would not really have a problem with it. They've got 8 strategic seats and they've been abused. And I think, Ashraf, I want your listeners in South Africa to really be aware what happened with the collapse of our coalition. The coalition didn't collapse because PA was unreliable and walked away from us. Unfortunately, they were badly treated, insulted. Unfortunately, including us, we have been insulted from day one. But because of our determination,
insulted by who? Insulted by who?
But the way the DA treated us, treated the Patriotic Alliance. We agreed at the last a few days before council meeting, because when PA was saying, guys, we are prepared to come to the party, but ANC had offered us 2 positions. We want 2 positions. No one was prepared. Action SA with 44 councillors, with only 3 seats. We said, let's give them our 2 seats. We are happy because we are going to end up with nothing, and this administration being taken over by ANC and EFF. And we all agreed. DA was with us when we presented this to them, and we then called a meeting with the PA. We presented this plan to the PA. The PA accepted, including the following day, Gayton Mackenzie making public pronouncement that he's going to be voting with us. We had agreed on Friday that we're going to have a press conference. On a Thursday, DA decided to renege on this. And not just renege, now insulting PA, that they are crooks, they cannot really be trusted, and all manner of insults. So,
but I mean, here's the point. I mean, so here's the point. I mean, I got that. Here's the point, right? So I understand what happened there. Therefore, Gayton went and effectively had an alliance with the ANC and the EFF. His latest pronouncements suggest that those promises from the EFF, the ANC, also haven't come to pass, particularly around the city of Ekurhuleni, and he appears upset about that, which means he's right for being wooed to come to the other side. But the same other side includes your party and includes the DA. Now, you said you have no problem with Gayton becoming the mayor. I'm going to just quote his tweet about Thapelo Amad, and he's saying, "We must put the citizens of Joburg first and admit we have backed the wrong horse. Thapelo Amad has been asked to climb a mountain too high for him. It's not just harming Joburg, it's destroying him too. We will rectify this blunder. Ahmad should resign now. We apologize profusely. Now, why I'm reading that tweet is not the essence of what he's saying. Gayton himself literally bragged when Thapelo Amad was put up as the mayor to say, we got him in. So my question to you then, as we analyze the leadership qualities of Thapelo Amad, should we also not be analyzing the leadership qualities of Gayton McKenzie to say perhaps even him putting Thapelo Amad up as the mayor is also a mountain too high for him to climb?
Yeah, well, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. That's why Ashraf, I said earlier on that what we need to do as political parties, we must learn to hold each other accountable. We must not bring friendship into this relationship. That's something, you remember when I was a mayor, I used to tell people, I'm not in this job to make friends with anyone. I'm here to serve my country. I'm here to serve my city. And that's really the reason why today we've got Action SA, and it is the party that must commit to saving people. We must put people before our own stomach. So basically, if you're going to be in our coalition arrangement, you are given a portfolio to run. We are going to hold you accountable. You come out with shenanigans. Don't ever expect us to really protect you. So if you want protection from us, do the right things, act within the law, try new things and so forth. But at the end of the day, shenanigans is the last thing that Action SA will tolerate.
Okay.
But right now, we must accept we don't have the numbers to be able to remove ANC EFF coalition. We have to do everything possible. We can't just sit back. It would really be irresponsible. It would be honestly dishonest of us sitting back saying that there's nothing we can do. There's so much we can do. Let's remove this ANC EFF coalition of looters and put together a government where we commit as a multi-party government. It's not going to be a multi-party government led by anyone. It must be a genuine multi-party government.
Okay, I hear you. Let me end with this, and this is just the last question to you, right? When I spoke to you about your ambitions for the mayor, you said no, you have national ambitions for 2024, right? So the bizarre thing, as I understand it, with regard to coalitions, right? You already mentioned that the DA treated Gayton and them not well at all, and that is why Gayton moved away from the DA in the city of Joburg, right? And yet you, as Action SA, would still enter into a coalition with the DA on the one hand, right? On the other hand, you've been very clear that you will not enter any coalition with the ANC. Now, help me understand that. You see, that's the type of thing that sends out mixed signals here.
Very, very easy, Ashraf. I think in a coalition arrangement, anywhere in the world, not just in South Africa, we don't go into a coalition because you want to be a coalition. Political parties, every time when they go into election, they want to get outright majority. Unfortunately, in this particular case, no one has got outside majority. So in this case, therefore, you then negotiate to see who's the better devil you are prepared to really work with. I don't have to like the DA. I don't have to like PA or anyone. It's a question of, do we share some of the values? We might not obviously share all the values. With the ANC, why I cannot work with the ANC? ANC, it's a criminal enterprise. Let me tell you something, Ashraf. I was born in abject poverty 63 years ago in a small village called Haramut in Amanskra.
Yeah, I know that. We just move very quickly. We need to end. Yeah.
You can imagine when you're born in poverty, it is easy for you to get into criminality. Now you can imagine 63 years later with my privileged position in life. Do you think I can join a criminal enterprise? I don't want to be associated with criminals. So ANC, as far as I'm concerned, it's an official criminal enterprise masquerading as a political party. Therefore, Herman Mashaba will not associate with them under no circumstances.
So I take it, as you've already done before, absolutely no coalitions with them and no arrangements at city level, at regional level, at national level.
At all levels. I would not sit with even have the discussion with the ANC about coalition or in, I don't want to have. I will have discussion with the ANC when we all in parliament or in council. We openly discussing where we agree on measures. That's fine, but I cannot be in the same coalition arrangement with the ANC whatsoever. Even said to my team, the whole country, the whole nation, and the whole world, saying, you know what, Action SA is not a Herman Mashaba's party. For some reason, if the actioners do decide one day that they want to go into a coalition with the ANC, I'm happy to step aside. That is how strong I feel.
Right. Okay, got that. Herman, let's leave it at that. Thank you for your time. Let's see what happens in a couple of weeks' time in terms of the future of the city of Johannesburg. And obviously for someone like me, the future of this of our country, with the type of leadership we have or the lack of leadership we have all around the country. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Herman Mashaba, the leader of Action SA, and in this case also former executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg himself. We're going to change that completely and talk to the guys at 27.4 after this.